In 2006, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Nick Saban, made a statement he would later regret.
Well, then I guess I have to say it. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach.
Luckily for Alabama fans, he would indeed take that job just 2 weeks later.
I can't tell you how pleased and honored I am to be your coach at the University of Alabama.
His coaching philosophy emphasized things like accountability, discipline, and hard work.
If you want to create value for yourself and your future, you got to make good choices and decisions, which comes back to your own personal discipline.
He brought with him his extreme attention to detail and superhuman recruiting skills, which quickly transformed the struggling Crimson Tide into one of the greatest dynasties in college football history. Nick Saban's arrival completely shifted the landscape of Alabama football and ultimately the landscape of college football as a whole.
Let's go! Relentless effort for 60 minutes! Dominate on 3! 1, 2, 3, dominate!
Within a year of Nick Saban taking the reins at Alabama, he had molded the team into a powerhouse that dominated their opponents for nearly 2 decades.
19-game winning streak, the 35-game regular season winning streak.
Number 1 in the country, Alabama!
It's been the Alabama era. It's been the Nick Saban era. He is the undisputed king.
Alabama was not only the team everybody wanted to watch, they were the team everybody wanted to beat. As of the making of this video, Alabama is still the most watched and most searched college football team in the country. Of course, this has led to massive media exposure and financial success for the university.
Alabama has made him the highest paid coach in the game.
Nick Saban's the best financial investment this university has ever made.
3 national championships in 4 years has translated into a 112% increase in revenue.
This was a major factor in what has now been referred to as an arms race among top schools who have spent millions of dollars hiring coaches and building lavish facilities in hopes of attracting and developing promising talent. I won't say Alabama is the sole cause of all this increased spending, but Alabama's success was definitely the bullseye every other program was aiming for. Under Saban's leadership, the Tide won an average of 12 games per season, including 8 playoff appearances, and racked up 9 SEC titles and 6 national championships. And this was in addition to the success that Nick Saban had already seen at LSU a few years before coming to Alabama, including another national championship.
At some point, it becomes a statement of fact rather than an opinion that Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time.
And on January 10th, 2024, after 17 years as Alabama's coach, Saban announced his retirement, bringing an end to an unforgettable era of Alabama football. Saban's commitment to excellence has changed college football. The 4-team college football playoff was created in 2014, in part to address the fact that the SEC, and Alabama specifically, was winning all the championships. And this change inspired unlikely teams like Ohio State to step up their game and go all the way. Of course, Nick Saban adapted and won 3 championships even in the playoff era, and now the playoff system is being expanded even further. I wonder why. On top of that, we've seen the introduction of the transfer portal, which allows players to more easily transfer to different teams. And now that NIL endorsement deals for student athletes are a reality, the potential to earn sometimes millions of dollars can affect what schools these students choose to attend, which has made recruiting even more competitive.
Make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs, $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now.
These are all controversial results of this new age of cutthroat competition inspired in part by Alabama's dominance. Nick Saban has offered his thoughts on each of those topics, but ultimately the thing he was focused on throughout his career was winning football games.
We're going to play everybody who can expedite winning the game. That's what we're going to do.
And he didn't achieve that by tantalizing players with millions of dollars or fancy performance centers. He rose above his opponents because of his attention to detail and devotion to those core principles: accountability, discipline, and hard work.
You said flat out, I'm not going to Alabama.
Right.
Do you regret that, Nick, saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, it affected my integrity as a person by saying one thing and doing something else.
When Saban took the job at Alabama, even though he said he wouldn't, you could argue that he bent his own principles of accountability and integrity. There are still some angry Miami Dolphins fans who certainly think so. Either way, Nick Saban made sure to never make that mistake again, and as a result became a legend who changed the game forever.